And the reason we think this is that if you look at the history of budgets for independent schools, you'll see that a natural fluctuation is up or down 3% or so in enrollment and therefore in budget and therefore in giving, up or down. So if I looked at the history of any of the schools, I would see 4 years in a row, up 1%, 2%, 3%, 2%. And then maybe I'd see 2 years in a row, down 4%, down 2%. And so we have decided this is probably organically a natural fluctuation, a range. And we think that natural fluctuation is the best case for schools given the perfect storm we're in. We think the worst case is down 20% or more in giving and or in enrollment and or in budget, maybe in all three. That would be the worst case, 20% or more. And that would be catastrophic, of course. But some schools will have to face this future. And what I would tell even the very strongest schools in the room, it is very smart to plan for that in a time when you're not in the crisis. You're not there yet. You should have the plan in your back pocket should the bottom drop out, even the strongest schools, the worst case plan. And then the most likely, we think, for many independent schools, because many of them are small schools, our median school, small school, is down 5 to 10% in giving, in enrollment, and or in budget. So it's sobering. And so back to the annual conference, I asked the school leaders there, 200 of them, representative sampling with a little clicker technology. Are you going to be up or down 3 to 5%, down 5 to 10%, down 20% or more, or some other outcome? And there were the results. So 36% thought their situation was best case, up or down 3 to 5%. But 55% thought down 5 to 10%, and 8% thought down 20% or more. So you add those two together, you get 2/3 of our schools, this actually surprised us, thought they would be down only a month or so ago, before contracts have started to come in, so maybe we'd have a more optimistic reading. So I'm just doing the reality therapy here, a little bit of the brutal facts. The condition of the industry is people are very apprehensive and planning for a much belt tightening for the future. All right, so let me pause and ask, do folks have thoughts, reactions, questions, challenges about the condition of the industry and what the data is telling us and how we might proceed given these exigencies? So I've scared you into stunned silence, apparently. Anything at all? Yes, sir. In the green shirt.
You think there will be an increase in unionization or a decrease in unionization?
You can count the number of unionized schools out of our 1,400 schools on one hand. So there has never been much traction for unions in general in the independent school. I do not see this as something that will increase unionization. I think we'll end up where we are, we'll stay where we are, especially if boards and schools are very good about reassuring faculty about the security of their future. Yes, sir.
Would you add a seventh factor that the change in the tax laws?
Yes.
Because President Obama has proposed to disallow either all or some of the charitable giving
yes.
to charities.
Yes.
He's basically said that he wants to shift the budget from charitable giving to health care.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, are any of these factors, it's just new on the radar?
Yes, the newest on the radar is the president's proposal that the higher incomes would be taxed at a higher rate. And all the analysis of that is that this would cause a $6 billion or higher decrease in charitable giving in the United States. And we would be impacted significantly because our greatest donors would have a less of a benefit from significant giving. Now, what's the likelihood of that actually passing is the question. As you might imagine, the entire charitable enterprise industry is mobilized on this, including NAIS. And our we've got a lot of partners with the Catholic Church and all the other churches and with higher ed. This would be catastrophic for a lot of industries that have a lot of votes in Congress. So independent sector is the collection of all these groups, and they just published a very, very strong statement about the danger of doing this. So we're going to be lobbying, and because we think this is very harmful.